dynamics are going to be different than, say, the mixed team situation, which looks something more like this, where you have some people in a
how
room.
big do you think, like 11 by
Let's say it's a
17
conference room in
or
an office,
13
and then
by
you have
19?
people dialed into that.
Well,
And this is by far the most difficult
I think 13 by
situation
19
to deal with when you're talking
side,
about
and 11 by 17
collaboration,
is
particularly
I was going to say, I think
for
probably
design
there's
problems.
a weird thing where
People in the room are going to have a much
you don't want
more
to,
fluid interaction with one another. They'll be able to see and hear each other at a quicker
if they're
tempo
too big,
than the
people don't want you to put
online
them out.
will. And
But
what
you don't
often
want it so
happens is
small
that
that
the
no,
engagement becomes very
I think 11 by
imbalanced.
17.
Okay.
So the people who are
So
remote
if you don't advance
then
so much,
don't participate at the same level, and they start becoming disengaged. They start multitasking, they start doing other things, and they may even
okay, then I
may
can pay
drop
you back.
off.
Yeah,
Or I can,
totally. Yeah, I'm not worried.
Oh, so that's
So you need to think about the balance
Well,
of
yeah, but that's the
engagement
one.
across
I mean, it's kind of. Well, we had a lot more.
We wanted to do a
and
lot.
finally we have the
Okay, we don't
all
need to do
remote
that many.
situation where everybody's kind of dialed in.
And it might be.
This
I
has
mean,
the
kind of. I'm
advantage
pulling
of
that on my ass, so.
kind of an equal footing. Everyone's on equal footing,
so we'll
so
do
it has the
that.
same advantages and disadvantages. But you kind of lose that visual type style of interaction that you get from being face to face with a whiteboard or flip chart. And here the conversation tends to be a lot more serial. By that I mean one person talks at a time and one person shows their screen at a time. Then you have to wait for someone else to talk and show their screen. So you get this kind of stacked interaction, right? Which is fine. Everyone's on the same footing. But I think the style of interaction is different than when you're face to face, and that's what we're next. So before I go on though, I did want to do a quick poll. So we have the split team, the mixed team, and the all remote team.
Did everybody
What I'm going to do is
Yeah.
through the
There were
webinar
we can open it up to.
I would like to launch a poll. So everyone should be seeing on their screens right now a poll. And the question is, which remote situation do you most frequently encounter? Is it that split team situation? Is it the mixed team situation?
And don't worry
Is
about
everyone usually remote, or a combination of above, or none of the above? I see folks voting, so hop on your webinar software and answer the poll there. I'm going to leave it open for just another couple of seconds. I'm going to close that poll. So if you haven't voted, that's okay. We can look at the results that we have so far. So I see most people voted. Well, we actually came up with a mixed team situation. So I'm actually just gonna.
She did begin because I changed the date that she did.
I'll go back to this slide for a second, where we have the mixed team situation actually got 34% of all votes, and the all remote got 24%. I was expecting the all remote to be the more common situation, but we said the mixed situation is the most frequent. And as I said, that's the hardest one. That's the hardest one to deal with. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. So being sensitive to the way that people are going to engage and recognizing that the level of engagement, the style of engagement is very important. But you also need to think about the workspace. So the second point I want to talk about is the digital defined workspace. When we think about remote collaboration, it's usually a constellation of technologies. Audio, webcams, you might share your screen or a piece of software. Often there's a chat client that you share in common, and you can send links to that, for instance. Or you might email yourself or the team a file or a document or share it through some shared document. It's really all of those together that define the workspace. But I think there's something really missing from this picture, particularly for design disciplines. That's a virtual whiteboard. Virtual whiteboard allows designers to think in a visual way. Right, that
but he may have somebody. I mean, he's now realizing he might
sticky
be
notes or markers. which is very, very important for design thinking and generative type thinking
I also
that
started
we
reaching
encounter when trying to create
after
new
that,
problems.
and one of them finally responded last
So
night.
a virtual whiteboard, Murally is a type of virtual whiteboard. There's many use cases that we can imagine using a tool like Murally with. It's great for brainstorming, but you can also do research analysis. So if you're doing like cluster analysis, right?
And so
You
what
can do this
happens?
digitally with a virtual
Yeah,
board.
I'm still going. I have to. I'm
Something called an empathy map, which is recently posted an article on our blog about empathy mapping. If you want to read
So they figure out how to get.
we've had customers use this for storyboarding,
And
for
then
design
once we get
studios,
there,
even for
at this point, I
sprint
didn't
planning,
But where you
and
get the camera?
light project management
Oh,
tools
yeah,
as well.
that's something great happened
So
with that.
the ability here to visualize everything at once is really, really important, I think, for
And the
design
first
work.
1,000
And
is already
with a virtual whiteboard, you can add that component to your workspace. So all of the tools that I mentioned from that
So I'll have the
workspace
other
is
1,000 too.
you still need those, but this complements them, and you'll find
And
that this
I
may
didn't
even replace it.
Yeah. Yeah, on
Now, what I'd like to do now is actually pop into
like a decent
a virtual brainstorming going on right now. So the teams at Murally here, we're located in Buenos Aires, I'm in New York, and also in San Francisco. So we're all remote right now, and we have a brainstorming project going on. It's how might we make remote teams feel closer together? It's brainstorming around that. You can see we used different color coding for different notes on sticky notes on the board, and you can see the cursors. This is very important because you get a heightened sense of presence with Murally. You can actually feel and see the collaboration going on. So we have a canvas here that you can zoom in and out of, and I'll just zoom really quickly, and you can pan to the left or the right. So this is actually quite a big canvas. I'm actually just zoomed in on a part of it. But you have a bunch of tools over here on the left. There's sticky notes, there are shapes, there are stickers, there are pre-formatted templates that we can use as well. But what this allows you to do is also bring in medium. So you can see there's some images here, there are links as well. So it's not only a place to get your thoughts out onto sticky notes, but you can also tie in other pieces of information. I think what you'll find is once you have a virtual whiteboard, you'll find the instances of chatting over a link to someone reduced because you can just add a link right here, or emailing a file or a document. Let's say it's an image to a colleague, you can just add it right here.
Yeah, right. I mean, I would have to but
evidence for your brainstorming activity. So none of this goes away. It's all kind of captured. And you can comment on any one of these elements as well, too. So you can actually have a conversation around the brainstorming activity.
Yeah.
There are also what we call facilitation tools. So I'm actually able to so everybody has their own view of the mural, but I can also then follow. Here I'm going to follow. I was and what we'll see is we'll see actually his view of the mural. I'm not sure if this will come across on the web.
Well, unless
I'm
Greg
able
says
to move
that's
my mouse right now. So
when would you
essentially
actually
my
go to
view
print?
is moving with his view.
Okay.
So this
So
is
if
great
he
when
hasn't
you want to
sent
do
anything,
individual work. You can work on corners of the mural by yourself, but then if you want to have a conversation, you can follow one person and zoom in and out, and you can see what they're saying. So this reduces the need for screen sharing.
And I said, can we use images?
So your need for chat, your need for email, your need for screen sharing actually reduces when you have a virtual.
All right.
This
All right, I
supports
gotta
designers
go.
that
I gotta see them
visual
right
thinking that's so important
Oh, you need,
to
do
our
you
work.
mean even from parts of the month and bring it over?
Wait a second. Oh my.
Presentation.
Yeah.
I mean, like after.
Monday
So,
12, yeah?
a virtual
Yeah,
whiteboard,
Monday
I think,
12.
serves as a centerpiece for that digitally defined workspace, particularly for designs. Anytime you have a creative problem-solving situation, think about adding a virtual whiteboard like Murally to your digital workspace. And third, let's think about a digital-first process. And as I mentioned, I think this is probably one of the most important points to think about. This is where I think a lot of remote collaboration the process is not going to change fundamentally from steps. You still have to define your set up a team, invite the team to collaborate in some way. And then you'll probably have this divergent, convergent thinking that we find in design quite a bit. Right, you still want to implement that into your process. So you want to think about how you move from a problem to exploring multiple options to solve that problem, to then selection, and then to design. That process stays the same. But if we take a digital-first perspective on all of this, there are some important differences in the way that we frame this process. So it's not necessarily a new process in terms of the steps of what you're trying to accomplish, but how we approach the digital-first process when we're talking about design. And I think it fundamentally, when we're working remote, I think it fundamentally changes our orientation towards time. We're able to do a lot more pre-work. Because everything is digital and we're thinking about remote work, and if we're using particularly a virtual whiteboard, what we can do is we can set up activities in advance and start contributing to them before we come together in real time. Just here's a kind of a tip is to get everyone kind of with a digital presence. You don't want some people sitting there who don't have a digital presence. So make sure first of all, that everyone logs in, right? And I'm thinking of that mixed situation, for instance, where you might have one computer in a conference room that's logged on. Get everyone in that room to log on as well. So you can use multiple devices. Log in with an iPad so you have a mobile webcam. If something does go up on the whiteboard or flip chart, you can show that to the folks who are remote. So make use of multiple devices. Even here, I'm sitting here in my home office, and I have my iPad going, and I just drew on that earlier. So even by myself, I have multiple devices that I'm using to be able to really think about a digital process first. Be cautious with offline exercises. A lot of the curriculum from methods of design thinking don't necessarily work online. So don't assume that you can just do the same exercises when you have remote folks, particularly in that mixed situation. For instance, anytime you get into pairs or even breakout groups, it's going to be problematic for the folks who are remote. Particularly in a real-time session because of audio. Because you can't have multiple conversations using Skype, for instance. There's only one conversation. So the idea of getting into breakout groups, which is so fundamental to a lot of design exercises, really falls down when we start talking about remote collaboration. What I'm suggesting here, if we take a digital-first approach, we wouldn't set up the process, we wouldn't set up the activity of the exercise to involve breakout groups. What that's going to do, if you're in that mixed situation, is it's going to alienate the folks who are online. If you get into groups of the people in the room, the folks online won't be able to do that. There are some hacks around it, but it's not a digital-first approach to design creative problems. On the other side, though, you can leverage being online. Because everyone is online, you can bake in activities, think of activities that make use of that. For instance, a scavenger hunt is something that I like to do, where I'll just give an example. You might name 3 competitors that are trying to solve the same problem you are, and go out and collect the best practices from them. Have everyone go out and take screenshots or get links to URLs and bring them back to a mural, for instance. Right? So you can use the fact that people do have a mouse right next to their hand, a keyboard in front of them, and multiple monitors, and all of the information on the web is right at their hand. Bring that into the session. So leverage being online and work that into the process. And then finally, too, getting back to that time element, is that you can then continue brainstorming. Very often we have this day-long or half-day-long brainstorming session or a design studio, and we're expected to be creative in those 2 hours. But sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're creative at different times. Or you might be working across time zones. So there's no reason why we have to say we're only going to be creative during these 2 hours, right? With a tool, particularly like Murally, but just remote collaboration in general, we can conceive of the process that's much longer in time. And what it really starts to do, is blur synchronous and asynchronous. So when you think about your process, I think the digital-first perspective really shifts your orientation towards time and lets it carry you. Here's an example. We're starting to work more and more with what we call templates at Murally. So you can take a mural on one of those canvases and actually pre-populate it with instructions. So the facilitation can also be asynchronous to some degree, particularly if you want to do some of that pre-work, as I mentioned. Now the example on the left, the screenshot on the left is an example of a mural with an exercise that I call the sailboat exercise. It's a modification of the speedboat exercise. And some,
Well, that's how I did my
book
prom
called
things. I love
Games
them. They were
Theory.
really tight.
And basically, it's a great exercise to start at the beginning of a project where you draw a line that represents water, and you put a sailboat on there, and you ask the team to say, what are all the anchors that are holding us back? What are all the anchors that are holding our project back? Whatever situation. And people contribute sticky notes below the water line. So everything that's holding the team back, and people can express that as a project. On the other side, you can say, what would make us go faster? What's the win for our project? It's a great kickoff exercise. But you can do this, set this up as a template, and send it out ahead of real-time sessions. Right? So when you get together then, let's say you do have a conference call, you already have something to talk about, so you don't have to go through that activity. So the notion of synchronous and asynchronous kind of
Well,
starts
that's
to
why the
blur.
sound is good too. I think you should take a recorder. I don't think that's gonna.
And finally, so we talked about the people, we talked about the workspace a little bit, we talked about the process. If you think digital first through all of those, I think what happens is that you have benefits of what we're calling a flexible structure.
But even if you just take a recording, just put it down.
Digital from the very beginning. That offers some new opportunities and possibilities. What we can do with the outcome of the collaboration. First of all, you can continue doing the analysis in the same place that you did all of the exercises, the design work, the creative design work. So you do creative problem solving. You don't have to take a picture of a whiteboard or transpose it to a different medium or put it on a phone board and carry it through the office. You can just continue doing the analysis right where you did the brainstorming. Just pick another corner of a mural, for instance, if you're using Murally, and continue doing the clustering and the analysis and the modeling that you're doing together as a team. And continue those conversations right where you did the generative.
That's interesting. That's a real.
You can also then copy, because everything is digital, you can actually copy notes, right? So we don't have to have only one cluster at a time. A note can be in multiple clusters and you copy, and you can then change the color or the shape of it so that it belongs to that cluster. You can also copy an entire mural. So if you did a brainstorming in one mural, you can copy all of that and then do some analysis on another mural and keep the same information but in a different order. So that again, that's gets to that kind of flexible structure. That we have all the flexibility of the version, but then we have all the power of digital information to structure it out. And Murally also has a tool called voting. What I want to do now is go back into that brainstorming session where I was. So I'm going back into that mural, and I'm going to initiate what's called a dot voting session. So there's a feature in your Murally. It's quite easy. I should give everybody 3 votes. So I just need to set this up as the initiator of the dot voting. I need to set that up. So you'll see there I gave everybody 3 votes. And what they're going to get then on their respective screens is the ability to vote. And they can click on any element on the screen to vote for it. So what we're going to say is, out of this brainstorming session, how might teams work closer together? We want to vote on the top ideas. The voting is only transparent to the person with the vote, so I have to vote here to myself. There you can vote twice for one item. So once all the votes have been given, we can simply end the voting session, and we get after a brief period of calculation, we get a view of what everybody did. So this is really cool because you can very quickly do a dot voting session, and you can vote as many times as you want as well too. It's not just one vote. So there you'll see the voting results, and you can also see how many people voted for each one. So dot voting kind of points to that notion of flexible structure and how we can leverage being completely digital all the way through into our results.
It's a tricky thing to say.
We have one more quick feature with dot voting, and that is I can actually filter the items on a mural by voting. So there's a filter tool here as well too. Again, this is, thinking digitally. We now have all these options. So I'm going to apply a filter here to, let's say, just say the number of votes. So I'm just using that slider now to set the number of votes. And what we're going to see then, you can see that these two items here both got 3 votes, and that's what I moved my slider to. So they've kind of come to the foreground, and everything else is grayed out. Right, so we can then, once everything's digital, we can use a tool like our dot voting tool and the filters to now have a focused conversation just around those items. We could also then copy those items over to another part of the board and do something else with them. But it allows us to slice and dice the information in different ways. So that flexible structure is really key for convergent thinking, for structuring the results after you've checked them. So, to summarize, when we're thinking about remote collaboration, particularly for design distances, think about the different team situations and the situations that people are going to be in and how they're going to engage in the activities. Right? There was that split teams, the mixed teams, and the all remote. The way that people engage with each other and with the material is going to be different for each one of those. We need to plan around that. Think about the workspace and how all of those tools come together. And add a visual workspace in there. Murally will, I think you'll find, will serve as a centerpiece for your collaboration. When you're thinking about the process, the notion of synchronous and asynchronous work, collaboration really starts blurring. So you really need to think not of a 4-hour design session all at once where you need to be creative, kind of face to face, but rather why don't you do it 1 hour a day, or do it 1 hour a week and work asynchronously, have people do homework, or also invite people to add notes that may have come up in between while they were at home. I can also loop in other people as well too. So the process then starts becoming a lot more fluid than it is when we're only talking about face-to-face design interaction. And think about the results and think about that flexible structure and how being digital first really gives you some advantages. So I'd like to thank everybody. We're getting close to the end of the time, and I wanted to leave some time for questions. So sign up for a trial at Murally, and we're going to be posting a lot of information about what I just talked about on our blog, so watch that space. I just posted a blog about what I call workshop amnesia. Take a look at that one if you might like that. So the webinar has been recorded and will be available. So what I'd like to do now is take some questions. So Mariano, do we have any questions? We're going to flip down here to a part of the mural where we got some questions coming in.
Yes.